In this program, we'll learn how to write procedures. We'll see the word sub. A procedure is a collection of statements that performs a task. And what we want to have happen is when users click on drums, they will learn something about the drums. They'll see a picture of a drum, some text about drums, and even hear drums. Similar things will happen with guitar, saxophone, and trombone. Let's take a look at how we already know how to do this. We'll double-click on drums, and we'll code the drums click event. We want to display information about the instrument in a label. We also want to show an image of the instrument. Now, you already have many of these things if you downloaded the shell program. And we're looking for drum 00. That is an image of drums. We also want to play an audio clip of the instrument. These are also included in your resources. Drum sound is what we need here. And we'll go with background. So now when we click on the drums button, we should get all three. There they are. Instead of putting this in a drums click event, we can write a procedure that does all of this. We'll start it with the word sub, and I'll call it show drums. End sub automatically comes up for us to mark the end of this procedure. We'll give some documentation to explain what this does. This will present information, an image, and audio of the drums. We'll take what we had before and move it down here. And inside the button drums click event, we'll activate or call this procedure with show drums. There it is. Let me put a breakpoint in here and you can see what happens. We click on the button for drums and we're taken inside the button drums click event. Then the show drums procedure is activated. That's where we go next. All of this transpires. The label text is changed. The image in the picture box is changed, and of course the audio plays. Then notice we're sent right back to where we were sent away. We left to go to show drums in the BTN drums click event, and right where we left is right where we have returned. We can make these subs or procedures for all of the instruments. We'll make a similar procedure for the guitar. We'll call this sub show guitar. Now you'll notice we also have this word sub for our button click events. We aren't going to worry about the private and public that could go in front of this for now. We'll cover that later in the course. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use quite a bit of it. Change this word drums to guitar. Use some different information about guitars. Show a guitar image. And use a guitar sound. I'll also make up a sub or a procedure for the saxophone. I'll change the documentation, change the information, change the image, and change the audio. We're also going to make a sub for the trombone. Show trombone. Change the image, and change the sound. So now we have 4 different procedures ready to present information, images, and audio of the different instruments. And we're going to activate them all in one button click event. We've learned about this before, how we can handle multiple events in one procedure. So in addition to BTN drums.click, we'll use BTN guitars.click, BTN saxophone.click, and BTN trombone.click. And this will display information and play audio for a selected instrument. We'll need to know what button was clicked, so we will declare one. And we'll call it BTN selected button. And it will equal the sender. We do have to convert that, so we'll use ctype. We want to take sender and make sure that it is a button. Now, we're going to need to tag these buttons so we can get the instrument out of there. So I'll go to trombone and give it a tag of trombone. Same for saxophone and guitar and drums. Now we can use the tag to determine which button was selected. We'll call it STR instrument. And we'll make it the selected buttons tag. And we have to convert that to a string also. Now STR instrument is holding either trombone, saxophone, guitar, or drums. So let's show and play the selected instrument. We'll use select case, and we'll select on STR instrument. You could also use an if you would like. If STR instrument is drums, we want to execute or activate the show drums procedure or the show drums sub. So we will call it there. In the case of guitar, we want the guitar procedure, show guitar. In the case of saxophone, we want to activate show saxophone. And in the case of trombone, we want the show trombone procedure. Add a little documentation here quickly to these. We'll need to get rid of this show drums procedure down here at the bottom. That's not needed anymore. And now we're ready to test this out. Let's check out guitar. Saxophone. Trombone. Again, these procedures are activated inside this select case. You don't have to use select cases to use these subs. It was just for our example today. We'll put a more general name up here for the button click event that actually handles 4 different button clicks. I'll call it BTN instruments _ click. Makes more sense than just the drums. The code is much easier to read. There's not a lot of lines of code inside this button click event for all the instruments. If you want the drums, we go to the show drums procedure. If you want the saxophone, we go to the show saxophone procedure. It's a divide and conquer strategy, splitting up the program. Very handy for one, making it easier to read, and also handy later on when we start to repeat sections of code and we want to call the same sub more than once. Let's take a look at how we can reuse the procedures we've already written for the drums, guitar, saxophone, and trombone. We'll make another button. I'll copy this button and paste it so I have all the flat appearances and the font that we want. I'll change its name to BTN All, and I'll have the text say All. Now I'll write some code for this button, and it will play and show information from all the instruments. We'll start first with the saxophone. So we'll call show saxophone. And we need to hold this on the screen. I'm going to have a message box come up. Next, the guitar. Next, the trombone. Then the drums. And let's get the saxophone one more time. All of these are very easy to call up and activate because we've already coded them. We don't need to copy and paste or retype them. We've already coded them once. We just simply call them as we need them. Let's see what happens when we press the All button. Again, all of these procedures very easy to call up whenever we need them, saving lots of typing, making the code easier to read.